Just for proof that she's a runner, gotta go. Didn't even need the carbs doing. Needs the fuel change, but
picking up lovely.
So we're changing the petcocks on this Triumph T120 at the moment. Just getting some alignment going on. These are different alignments. This one lines up diagonally with the corner of the tank, and this one goes at right angles. Now we think that's to give clearance.
New ones.
And we've got some brand new ones to do the job. So we're just slowly taking them apart bit by bit. Very carefully, as you can see them, not to mark this tank. Yeah, these ones have obviously been affected by the E10 fuel, and the seals have all seized up. So I've also got to make a note here that the reserve is that side. The key thing about the reserve with these, this is the reserve one because it's got you see the tube inside the filter there, and this one hasn't got one. So you open the right hand valve for normal use, sorry, other way around, sorry, that's the reserve. You open this one for normal use, and then if it runs out of fuel, it stops at that point. There's still that much in the tank, so you then open this valve up, which will allow the fuel to come through, which actually most people who are looking at this probably already know that, but I've learned something new. Anyway, carrying on. Get enough of an angle here, but this is the one I've got to move round, so we'll what we do is got to loosen off the lock nut here very gently. Try not to damage the paint, that's it. And this can come round, we reckon, to about this angle here. And then we re-lock up. I've got to be a little bit careful on this because this spanner's a bit, I might have to get a thinner spanner actually. Just want to very carefully, I'm going to nip it up for now, not too tight. And I'm going to go and try it in position, see how that works. So I've offered it back in position. This one here looks fine. We've got plenty of clearance for the tap, so that's no problem at all. And this one round this side again, plenty of clearance for the tap. Let's just make sure it goes up and down with the seat down. So the seat was down, it sits there like that. Could actually do with going back a little bit further back, so I might bring it round just a bit, just over in line with this bit here, I think. I'll knock it back a bit and that will do. Looking good. Right, so again, we're back on this one again. So if we just loosen this off. And let's get a thinner spanner really. This is not the right one to do it with. But I've not loosened that off. Okay, then I think we can come round about there. It should do nicely. I will knit that back up again. We will go and offer it back in position just to see how that fares before I tighten them up properly. In between what I'm doing, Neil's just freeing off this shock here, and we'll show you just got to get that levered out of there. It's just a tight fit in there. Screwdriver, let's get a screwdriver. Let's get the right tools for the job. So that's out, so you'll see, let's push those through. You'll see how they're starting to, look how they're rotting.
Degraded.
Degraded. The rubber's degraded on those. And they just, a couple of them are really bad. So we just thought, for the sake of it, and the sake of a few quid, look at this, look. Oh, look at that, you see? It's misshaped. There's the other one, look. You can see they just... So we just thought, while we've got this apart, why not do it properly and actually have them put, fresh ones in. I'll show you the fresh ones. To be an interesting one, because look at the diameter difference. Let's hope they still go in. These are all a lot more chunky, and they might need a bit of... Can you take one of these?
Are they the same?
Yeah, they're all identical.
Ah,
okay. That's an R. That's not a good R. Right, so ultimately these old ones were in a bit of a state. In the end, well, you can see how that's bent in me trying to move it. It's really tight, and in the end it started leaking out through the side here. Seeing these have got circlips in them, I've no doubt that is fully rebuildable. I will keep them because they might be the originals that came with the bike, so as part of the kit of parts, I'll leave them with the bike. Someone might want to do something with them in the future, but the filters had all fallen apart inside the tank. Well, that one was rolling around in the tank, and what's curious about that is that these ones are different. So it looks to me like there was a previous one on there and someone's changed it and left that rolling around. Anyway, we'll let's get these nipped up, and we'll get it back in situ. Here we are. They're both on in position. I've rebolted back on the pipe connectors on end and nipped them up. So that's all done. So now it's just a question of putting her back in position. See how Neil's getting on with Neil. We're just getting this other shock off before we then try and look at getting them in. So what do we say? A bit of downward pressure, wasn't it, in the end? I'll put my foot under it and give us a bit of a wiggle. That's it, it's got one out, there we are. Bottom one's out. Top one, that's it, comes out beautifully, lovely. If I can get that off, I'll take this off camera. Right, just got to get that through. Well, just maybe go and do it at the vice. Get it clamped down with something really. Okay, so getting there, so now I'm going to get this tank back on and let's have a look at that, see what that looks like in a minute. Got the angles of these slightly wrong. They were nearly touching up against the air filters, so they can afford to be rotated through about another 10 or 15 degrees. I'm just going to do that now. So they're done sitting there. We're just going to do a few other bits and get the fuel lines on before we start threading it back through, just so we've got easy access to all the screws and things. Right, so they're nicely adjusting. Just see them sitting down there. They sit down nicely, clearing the air filters well, both sides. So we've got a tube to put the pipes back on. So just that's coming together nicely, looking good, isn't it? Okay, let's get those pipes on and let's get in position. A bit precariously balanced here, but we just nip those pipes up, put them in all the way up to position and nip them up just so we've got something to work with. Now let's get it back into the bike. Shame I can't video this because I can't hold it and do it, but there you go. Right, so we've got it loosely mounted in position now. We just put the bolts in so that its position's correct. We're now going to work on getting these fuel pipes done and get these Jubilees put on at a point where we can access them in the future as well. A bit like this, so making sure that the screws are pointing outwards so that people can get access in the future to get it off without taking the tank off if needs be. Trying to be a bit considerate for the future me. So we've managed to get these bushes done. We ended up chamfering a little bit off them just to make them a nice tight fit in there. Fitting them in, we're now rebolting them back up, get them into position and get the thing put back together. And that was the final job. Then we just need some fuel and we're ready to go. So Neil's working on the other side here. So we're looking just blocking that one up.
Just drop the nut.
Just drop the nut. As is our way, we'll get there slowly but surely. Okay, so here we go. The final bolt is being taken up. These have got nylocks in the nuts at the back. So we're just going to tighten this one up to the final one. Torque setting.
3 knuckles. Yeah.
180 Newton pounds done. And there we go.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, he hasn't tightened that
Hang
one up. I've
on
done mine,
a
you
minute.
see. Done mine, you see. I did my top one, did them both. So I've got that captive under there. Let's just do that up nice and one more. I think another quarter, another at 1/8. Go on. That was the bit. That's the bit. I felt the move in the back. That's it. Okay, we have now completed the job. All we need now is some fuel. I want some
New taps.
E5. We've got the new taps up there. Look at that. Looking good. Don't tap them. You talked about chrome, you were just telling me off for doing that. Banging a chrome-headed nothing. Anyway, that should be the last bit, so I'll get some fuel and we'll see if we can fire up. But that's our job is complete. We're going to go and have some lunch now. Burgers on the barbecue. Right, so I thought just the final shot should be just a little walk around, showing the bike in all its glory. Looking lovely here. Recently had a full valet. XTC treatment of all the metal work. Polish. Looking absolutely beautiful here. Going up for sale now. Haven't quite got around to doing it, but she's going up for sale. Time to move on to a new owner. I've got another one anyway, so I can't ride 2 bikes at once. But yeah, look, it's just an absolutely glorious bit. 5,700 miles, rebuilt by Two Wheels Miklos a few years back. Rocker Box did the engine rebuilds, and the custom paint job, which is the Tangerine Dream paint work, was done by a specialist, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, there you go.